If your little trees aren't blooming or the flowers fall off and don't set fruit, in this video, I'm going to show you how to fix it. And if you're watching this from the United States, pay close attention because this is really important for you. This video is dedicated to everyone who has fruit trees at home and sees that they don't produce, or have even gone years without getting a single fruit. If that's your situation, you're in the right place. Today I'm going to show you 3 methods that will make your tree bear fruit no matter what. So let's get right to the first method. The first is girdling, and you have to do it right because it's a very powerful method, but also very easy to mess up if you don't understand it properly. Girdling should always be done on a branch, never on the trunk. It's important to be clear about this from the start. You can do it on just one branch or on several, depending on the size of the tree. If the tree isn't producing anything, it's common to do it on about 50% of the main branches. To do this, you'll need a cutting tool. It could be a pocket knife, a box cutter, or even a small fine saw if the bark is tough. You don't need anything special. You can easily do it with tools you already have at home. Now, what we're going to do is make 2 circular cuts all the way around the branch. These cuts should be very close together, about 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch apart. Once you've made those 2 cuts, all you have to do is remove the bark between them. And here's the most important part. You can't go too deep, you can't scrape the cambium, you can't cut into the wood, you just need to remove the bark. The cambium, which is that lighter layer right under the bark, should not be touched. This is key because what we're trying to do isn't to harm the tree, but to trigger a reaction. When you do this girdling, what you're actually doing is partially interrupting the flow of elaborated sap, which is the sap that travels down from the leaves to the roots. By interrupting that flow, the sugars and energy produced by the tree build up in the upper part of the branch, and that buildup causes a direct reaction in the tree. The tree starts to direct that energy toward what matters to it at that moment, reproducing, meaning producing flowers and ensuring fruit. That's exactly what we're aiming for. We're not waiting for the tree to decide to produce, we're creating the conditions for it to do so. After you do the girdling, there's nothing else you need to do. You don't need to cover it, you don't need to wrap it, you don't need to apply any product. Just leave it as is. As days and weeks go by, the tree starts to respond. You can see it in its vigor and how the wound heals, and especially in the number of buds and its readiness to bloom. And this already makes a huge difference. With this, we're already starting to get the tree going. If the tree was stagnant, this gets it moving again. But now we're going to take it a step further, because with the next method, we're going to make that reaction happen even faster. The second method is the screw or nail method. And even though at first it might seem really simple or even a little strange, I assure you it's one of the most effective methods when a tree is completely stagnant and not responding. The first thing you need to do is disinfect the screw or nail. This is important to prevent infections in the tree. You can do this with alcohol, you can heat it up a bit, or just make sure it's clean before you insert it. Once it's ready, carefully choose the area where you're going to use it. It can be the trunk or a main branch that's nice and thick. This is important. Never do this on thin branches because it wouldn't make sense and you could damage them without getting the effect we're looking for. It needs to be a part of the tree that's strong, has structure, and is able to respond. Now what you do is insert the screw, but there's a very common mistake here. A lot of people think that the deeper, the better, but that's not the case. You don't need to go all the way through the tree and you don't need to cause major damage. Inserting it about 1 or 2 inches is more than enough. In fact, what we're looking for isn't the physical damage itself, but the signal that the tree interprets. And this is where the key to this method lies. When you insert that screw, the tree senses an attack and automatically activates its defense mechanisms. This is something completely physiological. The tree senses that its survival might be at risk, and when that happens, it completely changes its behavior. It starts mobilizing resources, activating hormones, and reacting. And what's the fastest way a tree can ensure its survival? By reproducing, that is, by flowering and bearing fruit. That's why this method works so well, because it doesn't depend on external factors like the weather or irrigation. It relies on an internal response from the tree itself. You're forcing it to react. And when a tree reacts this way, it stops being passive, starts sprouting more, becomes more active, and most importantly, the chances of flowering increase dramatically. This method speeds up the whole process. It makes the tree go from being completely dormant to becoming active in a very short time. And when you combine it with girdling, the effect is even greater, because not only are you accumulating energy in the branch, but you're also triggering an active response from the tree. It's a very, very powerful combination. Now, there's something you need to be very clear about. This method isn't for every tree. It's usually applied to trees that are at least 2 years old, trees that should already be producing. If the tree is too young, it's better to wait, because in that case, the problem isn't that it doesn't want to produce, but that it's just not ready yet, so it wouldn't make sense to force it. But for mature trees that aren't producing, this method makes a huge difference. Alright, now we have two super important things. We've activated the tree and triggered a very powerful reaction, but we're still missing a key part. So let's move on to the third method. The third method is adding potassium, and this is what will make everything we've done so far actually turn into real fruit. Because up until now, we've activated the tree and triggered a reaction, but now we need to give it what it needs to produce. And this is where the mix we use to give the fruit tree the necessary potassium comes in. But in this case, I'm going to give you two ways to prepare it. One for when the fruit tree is in a pot, and another for when it's planted directly in the ground, because the amounts change quite a bit depending on where the tree is planted. Let's start with the one for pots. First, grab a bottle or a container. We need about 1/4 gallon of water. Then add a tablespoon of wood ash. Next, add another tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and finally, a tablespoon of cane molasses. These ingredients are very easy to find, and there's nothing complicated about them. You can find them pretty much anywhere, or you might even already have them at home. Once you have everything in, mix it well. Stir until it's completely blended. And once your mixer is ready, just water your plant with it. You can apply this about once a month. And now let's talk about what to do if your fruit tree is planted in the ground. If you have it planted directly in the ground, all you need to do is multiply the amounts I just gave you by 4. That means 4 tablespoons of ash, 4 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, and 4 tablespoons of cane molasses. And why do we do this? Because in the ground, the volume is much greater. The soil absorbs nutrients better, there's more space, and the roots are much more spread out than in a pot. On the other hand, in a pot, everything's much more concentrated, and what we don't want is to saturate the substrate or cause too high a concentration of nutrients. That's why we use a larger amount when planting in the ground. And this is where everything we've done starts to pay off, because now the tree has the energy, activation, and nutrients it needs to produce. And this way, you'll get the tree activated, you'll get fruit set, and you'll have much better developed fruit because you're already giving it everything it needs to produce. In the end, this is what makes the difference between a tree that doesn't produce and a tree that's full of fruit. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to leave me a comment letting me know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment. I'm reading them. And if you're not subscribed, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and share the video with someone else who also loves fruit trees. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.